All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Movies in Spanglish. Like always, this is your host, Marisol. I'm here with my wonderful sisters, Laura and Angela. Anna is cleaning her house and had an apagón, so she can't join us. Um, but we wanted to welcome you back to a fantastic episode where we're going to make it a little bit more fun, lighthearted, and we're going to talk about a topic that Angela just cued us in a couple of seconds ago. So we're very excited about it. Remember to follow us on Instagram for updates every week on when the next episode is coming on. So, Angela, do you want to cue us in on this week's topic?
Hello, everyone. This week is my turn to choose a topic since we had stated last week that we were going in birth order. And this week, I thought it would be good to discuss female adult friendships, how they change throughout stages in our life. And my main point within the topic is something I've always been kind of curious about in studying my female friendships, at least, is do we ever outgrow that mean girls phase? Or which I don't think we do personally, but that was my topic this week. Hopefully we can discuss some of that and see how our friendships have molded us and where we stand with the friends that we have in our life today.
All right, that sounds like a fun one. Laura, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited because I love my friends. I've had different groups of friends for like a long amount of time. So like my closest group of friends, I've been friends with them for over 15 years. So it's crazy, like, but we're not as close as we used to be. So it's like there's four of us. We grew up together. We know each other. We know each other because of our parents, which is funny. Like we would have never met. We would have never been friends if it wasn't because of our parents. And it's crazy because we met in fifth grade. Well, I was in fifth grade and now I'm 27. So it's like our friendship has evolved so much. Like we've seen each other from kids. We've literally gone through everything together and we are not the same girls.
But it's interesting to see your friendships that you were able to maintain since in like early childhood, because like I'm the opposite. I don't really have any friends since childhood.
Yeah.
I made a few friends. I was never like a big friends person. Like I've always been very selective. I've had like maybe 2 or 3 good friends in high school, disconnected from them as I moved through life. And then in college, I made some good friends. And as life happened, we're still sort of in touch, but we don't have that intimacy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very, very picky about the people I considered like my friends. And then as an adult, I can tell you I have maybe 6 friends like that I consider my friends. And it's not like that kind of like, oh, let's go out and brunch and kind of thing. It's kind of like, I can call you and we can talk and you pick up where you left off. And but I've always
also don't live around here.
No, they don't. My friends are all over the place, so it's hard. And I forgot how to make friends. Like to be honest, like I don't know. It's so awkward. I'm an extrovert in a lot of ways, but when it comes to making friends, I'm completely an introvert, and it's very difficult. I don't know how to follow up with people. I don't know how to do none of that. So I rather stick to try to true what I know, and then I'm very picky, So if I'm with a group of people and I see that I'm like clicking with, and immediately somebody starts talking about somebody like behind their like a friend, quote unquote, I'll just cut it off. Like I won't even bother. I'm very picky about things like that. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of personal experience with that aspect of friendship.
I don't have any friends that are outside of family members. I don't have any friends that I can say I grew up with or I've maintained the friendship through like for many years. From my childhood, I think our upbringing, we moved around a lot. So it kind of hindered our ability to like make solid friendships. Anna's not in the chat, but Anna kind of was like was more she didn't move around as much, even though we grew up in the same household.
She made her group of friends towards the end of her high school years.
Yes.
And so she was able to keep them, and they're still all friends. And they've gone through like just like Laura too. Like there's.
So with that, I became an adult pretty young as well. So when my friends that were finishing high school were, you know, partying and traveling and doing the fun thing, I was basically a stay-at-home mom already and working. So I didn't have like the freedoms to like be a teenager and like build those friendships. As an adult, mostly post-divorce, I'd say, I kind of built a nucleus of friends. But within that, it's still been difficult for me because I still, not to toot my horn or to say I'm better than anyone, but I still feel like emotionally and like mentally, I'm at like a different place where it kind of falls into that, like a lot of women are stuck in the mean girl stage. So for me, like we could be really good friends, but like Bianca mentioned, as soon as one of those friends starts like bad mouthing another one in the group, and then in front of them, you're like, oh my God, I love you so much, and then behind their back, they're like,
I can't deal with that.
It just raises, like I raise my guard and just, I'm like, wait a minute. So when I'm
Se le baja uno.
So for me, it's like, I just kind of fall out of love in that friendship because I don't feel like I can trust you. And I'm so protective with the trust that I give to people. Like I lead with trust, which maybe is not good for me. Like I meet you and I give you all my trust, and then you mess that up, but there's no way to get it back. Like I'm not forgiving when it comes to those things.
I think that one of the biggest problems with women friendships is that we're always sort of taught to be petty with each other, to be so competitive, to always like one up each other. And it sucks because then you miss out on all of the great qualities that come with that woman bond, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I despise it. I can't deal with the pettiness. I can't deal, like, I think, I like to think of myself as not a judgmental person, but I think in some ways I am. And that's one of them.
Are, right?
Yeah, I think if I'm being honest about who I am, that way I'm judgmental. Like if I'm with a group of women and I see you like eyeing somebody else's husband, dude, we're not even gonna be, you know? Yeah. If I'm with you and I see you like just breaking things that are my personal moral code, like then we have no business really being friends. You know, I can't compromise my moral principles, like, you know, just to accommodate a person into my life. Like I won't do it. So I can't, I'm not gonna be the person que tapate toda la estupidez just because we're friends or we're cool. Like I don't know how to do that.
No, I think I can be a confidant because we all need someone that we can call and just vent our truths to. I can be a confidant and I don't cast judgment in that way as long as your muddy waters don't taint mine. There's a limit to it, but as long as whatever gray area you're in doesn't taint mine or is not like intercepting into my environment and how I like to keep and lead my life, then you're free to do whatever you want. Because
but let's be honest. Is that really a possibility? Like, is that really real? Like, can you have that relationship and they have their muddy tainted waters and their waters will not cross into yours? Even like, you think so?
I mean, I think you have to set boundaries, you know, you have to kind of set boundaries with your friends. And then I also feel like, you know, they always say like you are who you hang around with. But at the same time, I don't believe that because it's like, you know, sometimes like you can be with that friend and like just because, I don't know, like I have different friend groups and different friends that I do things with, if that makes sense.
I'm like that
too.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that I know are like my confidants and, you know, my friends that I'll call on Sunday, we go have brunch with. And, you know, it's that kind of friendship. And then I have my friends that are conditional. I'm sorry that the friendship is
como un brazo de distancia.
Yeah, like junto pero no revuelto. Like, you know, because we have history, we have a lot of, you know, things that we've lived through, and you know, I respect that and I love them for that because they were there in specific seasons of my life. But I'm at a stage in my life now that I'm so protective with my energy and my time and just my spirit and space that I don't have, and I become very conditional with my friendships. And maybe that's not nice, but maybe if we're saying like mean girlish, I'm not a mean girl because I would never cast someone out or make them feel unwanted. But I am very like, this is like, this is my space, and if you're gonna bring something negative to it, I have no issue. Like, cortándote como mojo, como decimos Santo Domingo. Like, like you're done.
I don't know. I think that though, for me personally, I think that's made it very difficult to just have like random friendships, you know, like you guys that are able to have, you know, your group of friends that you can hang out and go clubbing with, and then the other group of friends that, you know, you can talk about your personal business with. And that's great. But like, I've never been able to do it. Like sometimes I've wished I could, but I just can't. I feel that for me, like I can't, I cannot consider you like a friend, an acquaintance. Yeah, I can do those things with an acquaintance. You know,
you're more like my
bone.
family is my friends.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm more like that. Like I just can't, I will never confide, or I would never trust that person like with my intimacies and my family if I don't fully trust them as much as you can trust another human being, you know. But if I don't feel that confidence, that's why I have, like, I'm telling you, I have my 4 friends that I made in DR, and like my 1 college friend that we barely ever see each other or talk, but when we do is like yesterday.
Pick up where you left off.
We pick up where we left off, but I don't know how to do that. And it irks me when I see these relationships, like these women friendships where everybody's like, oh yay, oh my God, I miss you so much, and blah, blah, blah. And you're, oh, how's life and how's the kids? And then it's like the next time if that person's not there, they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. You know, like she's so annoying and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, weren't you just like all up in her Kool-Aid yesterday? Like what?
That's what I think I'm struggling right now. Like for me personally, we're being real, like we say we're gonna be real, like with this. I'm struggling with that right now. Almost like como que la careta se le cae has been like, I don't know. You might hear this through the season. I'm very like spiritual and I listen, like I am very intuitive and I'm an empath and I pick up a lot of energies, and like my kids say that I'm a witch, but it's not because like I call things and they happen, or like I sense, and it's true. Like it really, sometimes it freaks me out. Like,
yeah, eso de olio, mija, eso
yeah, but I feel like I didn't listen to my intuition for so long that now I'm like hyper in tune with it. Like, oh, espérate, me cogiste de pendejo una vez, voy a coger caimán la segunda. Like, I'm aware of it. But anyway, so what I struggle with is seeing someone's true colors and then being forgiving or being accepting. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Like in every new relationship.
Do you think you make excuses? Do you think you make excuses or explanations in order to like
make excuses for people because I feel like, you know, they've been through this, or, you know, I've known them for this long, or they were there for me in this situation. But then it's like
the only person that was like there for them. You know, I foresee that, you know, even though they have these tendencies, like they still need a friend.
Yes. But then what I'm noticing now is that como que se dobló, like la moneda se volteó. And it's almost like I'm no longer unconditional. Like I have conditions and I have boundaries. And when I set those boundaries, a lot of those friends have like turned their backs on me. Not to my face, of course, because heaven forbid
it's that gradual
real and be like, not, you know, heaven forbid if it's like 100% real and say like, mira, like, no te quiero hablar contigo because, you know, people don't like to burn bridges because they might need you someday. But that's what I've noticed now. And I consider myself a girl's girl. Like I love celebrating other people's wins. Like my stage 1, you know, and your stage 10 are 2 completely different stages. And I will celebrate your stage 10 as I'm working through I am a firm believer in that, because I do believe what you give out to people, you receive back.
Yeah.
So like when my friends open up businesses, I'm like buying things and promoting and like, how can I help? And like, I'm going to be in this pageant this week. And like, if you pull me in to celebrate something of yours and, you know, help you win, I'm going to be there and help you win. Yeah. It's just,
but hold on. But now you're seeing, and I bet you this is how you're thinking it, but now you're seeing who's doing it for you and who isn't.
Yes.
Like you're able to see like, diablo, mira que ella, como yo la promoví, como yo la ayudé, y ahora you like me about, you know? And that's like you're able
it's
to
a hard pill to swallow, because then it brings me back almost to like that middle school feeling where you're like, you know, the yes friend, because you want to do the kumbaya and keep everybody together, and you're like the, you know, flexible friend.
Mhm.
And then like you're really surrounded by mean girls. Like you can be good but not better than them, and if you start acting better than them, like now it's on. Like,
but you see,
Bird
those are the
like,
situations. But those are the situations cuando yo saco los pies. Like I
oh
don't.
yeah, completely, but it still
Yeah.
hurts, right? Because there's history.
Of course. Yeah.
It's so weird because I feel like I don't deal with this within my friend groups, or like I feel like I did a lot when I was like in high school. And I think because I learned so much in high school, like I feel like I had so many like girlfriends, but you know, that's like a time when like you don't have that in you to be like a girl's girl, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it took me losing a lot of friends, a lot of embarrassment because of those friends, to then like come to where I am now, where it's like I just have, I mean, like, you know, like I have my select few of friends. They're always at the same things for me. And those are like my girls, you know, like I know they're always supportive. They're always there for me. Like I don't have those kinds of issues with them, but it took me so long to find those good friends. And I feel like I've only taken out like one from each walk of my life. Like,
Yes.
you know, like I have one that I met in college, like that's my girl, like, and we're still girls. I have one from like work, you know, that we're super close now. I'm going to be in her wedding. Then I have like my best friend I met like at work like years ago, and like she has really helped me to be a girl's girl, because I've never had a girlfriend who's like, she literally said like we're like our soul sisters, because I've never had a friend be so good to me before, you know. And so
Yeah.
she's like really helped me to see like, okay, uplift women, be there for each other. Like this girl, like I got my wisdom teeth taken out and she was here, like, you know, bringing me flowers, bringing me all kinds of things, and that's just her all the time. And like I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative of that.
You
So shout out
have
Shane.
I know Shane is a great friend, and
She really is.
you really do have good few selective friends, like
Yeah.
that are like thick and thin type friends.
Mhm.
And find
Those
those,
are
you
hard.
hold
Those
them,
are hard
like,
now.
you try. I have a couple, literally like a couple
Yeah.
that I can consider close friends, that I can consider true friends, that we don't judge. We're there for each other. Like I can call in the middle of the night and say, I need a gallon of milk, and I know that person, wherever they are in the world, they're gonna make it happen. And I am secure in that thought. But when you go from like, for me though, maybe it was like, I was like stunted, right? Because my youth, I spent it being a mom. I didn't have like,
Yeah.
I didn't even have time to have friends or nurture friendships, because I just couldn't. Either I wasn't allowed to, or my life didn't let me, you know, the responsibilities I had. So once I found myself with time and in my path of self-discovering, I had this like huge net, and they all through that season were there how I needed them to be.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like what Laura went through in high school. Naturally, you've gone through in the past couple years.
Yes, but for me and how I process and think, and how it like baffles me, because I don't understand that reasoning.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
for
I can
me-
get it for like high school girls when they're
Yeah,
still
like,
maturing and figuring
so
it
for
out.
me, it's like, if we're old ass women pushing, like technically old ass compared to high schoolers, old ass women pushing 40, like what is this about? Like, dime. What is this? Like, we have too much bills, too taxes to pay, and chores to be coquete, like dime por aquí or dime por, like I can't.
I know.
It's too much.
I don't know. I think, but like I said before, I think the culture expects that of us too. Like it's always like you see series, and you know, you look at these shows, and they're always, even in adulthood, they're always portraying women for the most part as petty and catty, and you know, you are envious and things like that. And I don't really think that it helps us, you know, really figure it out,
No.
because it's sort of pushing forward that same script of, you know, that being female friendships. And honestly, I do not believe that adult female friendships are that anymore. I think women are getting it. And I think women are really
Oh, for
coming to
sure.
the realization that friendships are, you know, with women and among women are like the sisters you choose, you know,
Yeah,
like
and it's so important, man. Like it really just is so important to have like that set of women that you can talk to and just like feel like no pressure of
You're
like
not
when you're
alone.
hanging out with them, you know?
Like you
I
have your
think,
tribe. You need your tribe.
Yeah.
but you see, for me personally, I think now that we're talking about it, I think one of the reasons, and then now it just clicks, it makes sense. I think one of the reasons for me that I've never really pushed so hard to have female friendships that, you know, for confining things and whatever, is because I have 3 sisters, you know,
Yeah.
and I have, like, you know, open communication with you guys, and I just divulge my intimacies and my personal things to you all. So I don't feel like that kind of friend I need necessarily. And I have my friends that support me in other ways, and that I know if I really do need to talk to them about those things, I can openly without any judgment or feeling of embarrassment or shame. But I don't feel like I have that need. And I think maybe that's why I haven't necessarily pushed forward, you know, to try to find friends. It's hard for me. I honestly don't know how to do it. And I
And it gets
connect with
harder
people.
as you get older, you know, like
Oh yeah.
it gets so hard. But you know what, like, and like my dad, I feel like is a really good example of like how when we moved here, you know, like he met his best friends. And guess it just kind of shows, you know, and like I feel like they're like lifelong partners, you know, and it just kind of shows that, you know, you just meet people at any age in your life and they can just become like your best friend, you know, and it kind
Yeah.
of goes back when they say like, you know, you can meet someone, you can have known someone for years and, you know, but then you can meet someone 3 months from now and they can have like your best interests. And it's just like, you just never know. Like maybe your best friend is still out there and you just haven't met them yet.
And I genuinely feel like I have Christina, that I can go a year without talking to Christina. And then it's like the moment I talk to Christina, I feel like, poof, like it's just all there, you know? And I have Diana and Tami and Noemi, and these are like my DR friends that we clicked and connected and like bonded in like very deep ways. And we can go a week and then we'll chat and we'll spend an hour chatting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sometimes think like, oh, maybe I want a couple friends to like hang out with. Then I'm like, oh, that sounds like so much work.
But it's like, okay, I don't know. I guess it's just up to you. Like, I feel like the motto used to be no new friends, but I'm over here, like, I'm here for it. Like, if you want to be a good friend, like, I'm so here for it. Like,
I'm open to it. I'm really genuinely open to it. Like, I don't close myself off to the possibility of connecting with someone. I don't think I go about my life that way in general. Like that's just
you're
not
not.
who I am.
You're like you connect with everyone that you meet, but I feel like just not in like a long term or like in a long term way, but like not in like you can be in my personal life, if that makes sense.
Kind of way. Like I always have like a little bit of a filter or you know something there. It's like, oh, we're cool, and I connect with people, but I'm always very hesitant to sort of like let them come through or me to the other side. Like I don't know.
I'm like, oh, invite them over, bring them to the barbecue. They can come. Yeah, sure. Everyone's welcome. I'm good. She wants to come to the brunch. Cool.
I used to be like that, but I've become more like Bianca. Like I've become more like I used to, even like a few months ago, like a year ago. I used to be very like, you know, the more the merrier, like welcome. I am open to new friendships and meeting people. Like I find like everybody I meet, I find something in common and have a conversation and build connections with people. But now I'm more.
You're tired.
Huh?
You're tired and selective.
Yeah, I'm pretty selective. Like
and it's a little hard to keep up with sometimes with everyone. You know, like thankfully, like my friends know, like I'm probably not gonna respond to you until like a few hours later. You know, we're probably not gonna go days without talking all the time, but they all know, like, you know, hey, when we get together, it's like a good time, but we don't have to talk all the time.
And I'm gonna say this because I think this is something that I've come to the realization recently. If you're here whistling, is my kid decided to play a flute at this time. But anyway, I've come to the realization that I think I've battled, and maybe we can talk about that another point on another day. But I think I've battled with ADHD my whole life. And I know this is like a trend now, you know, and a lot of people are like on the ADHD train and blah, blah, blah. But I took one of those online, like the one that you pay, it's like gajillion questions. And then, you know, a specialist reviews it. And I came out to moderate to severe. That was what is said. And now I'm pending an actual diagnosis by a professional now, made an appointment. But one of the things that clicked in learning about it was, which sort of turned on this huge spark, is out of sight, out of mind is a big thing for people with ADHD. And I'm like that. I think that's why, for example, I'm able to grieve in a different way. I think that's why I'm able to be okay, necessarily disconnected from people and like not reaching out as often. It's because, not because I don't care or I don't love you or because I don't feel all the feelings. It's because literally in my brain, if I am not seeing you and interacting with you, it's almost like, poof, you just been deleted from my current life. And when I was reading about that in the questionnaire, and I put, oh yeah, all the time, I was just like, holy hell, like this has been a huge aspect of most of my life that I think has a strong influence in why it's so hard for me to maintain friendships.
Yeah.
Like actively engaging and maintaining these friendships. And I was always very intimidated at the idea that I had ADHD, so I never really pushed it or tried to. But now as I've gotten older, it's just more prevalent every day in my life. And I can see it in that aspect very, very clearly. So yeah, I do think that explains a lot of my shortcomings when it comes to keeping
It's interesting that you like analyze that, because like I was thinking to myself the other day, and in the sense of like me and having like these friend groups, right? Which like many people probably don't know, but like Bianca is my sister through my dad, but Angela is my sister's sister. So like I've only grown up with just like one sister in a sense until now. And then my mom is not like the kind of mom who's like, you know, hey, let's go do this together, let's do that together. So I feel like I had to create my friend groups to give me, you know, like that women, okay, I need you women here to talk and to do those things, because I only had one sister. And then it's like, we really only connected when you moved here. Like how many years ago?
6 years ago.
No, more than that.
Yes. No, this summer.
No,
Sebastian.
Oh yeah. Like 6 years ago. Yeah, because like I had just gotten with Nick.
And Sebastian was
so
6
like I
months
didn't
older.
have, I didn't have like that sisterhood or like sisters to like talk to, you know. So I need like my girlfriend.
And it's interesting when you look back at our stories of our individual upbringings, it makes sense where we're at in each of our ways of maintaining friendships. Like Angela got super young into a relationship and parenting. She skipped that whole part of her life, right? Of like making and learning from these friendships. Me, I had, we were disconnected, and I had these 3 sisters and 15,000 cousins that were my age. So that need for the friends wasn't really as front and center in my life. And then, like you, just with your mom. And I know Anna, she had a similar situation in that she was just with my brother, since Angela and I had already left. So it was just her and Manuel, and they're almost like twins at home. And so she needed the girls. So she's bonded, and she's still bonded with those women today. And they're very close, just like you are with your friends.
I do have good genuine friendships.
Yeah, so it's interesting when you look at how each of our lives,
choices and paths mold you and define your friendship.
Yeah, explains our current stage of friendship, or our interactions and how we handle and manage our friendships. It's I do think that women do outgrow the mean girl stage. I think the women that don't outgrow the mean girl stage, I think they just really don't want to.
Or haven't found themselves, not bored of it.
I don't think they figured it out. They're not with the right people, or maybe they're not the right people.
Yeah, like I don't like to remove blame where blame is due. So like in the whole like, oh, you hang out around, no, like Laura said, like you're not necessarily who you hang out with. And we're all adults that have lived through things and have, for the most part, children of our own. So it's not like we're all 17, 18 trying to figure things out. We should know better, right? Because we're supposed to be teaching our children better as well.
Yeah.
How to, be honest and be a good friend, and, be forthcoming and be, as hurtful as it can be, truthful to someone's face. I just feel like there's, I don't know, we're supposed to outgrow the mean girl phase. Most women don't. And I think it's
You
because
think most don't? I think
most
most,
don't.
you think most don't?
I think honestly, I think most don't. I think most don't. I think it's really based a lot of it, even if they're not forthcoming with it, I think a lot of it is based
Pretend.
in insecurities and projection.
Yeah.
And if you see a friend, it comes in different shapes and sizes. If you see a friend, like I've had acquaintances with people I know that, you know, used to always call me and we would like hang out or make time for each other. Then I got into a relationship and I shared, you know, good moments and, you know, how healthy it is and happy I am, you know, and those friends that necessarily are not in that place. And then they almost see it as like either you're boasting or like you're a threat to reminding them of their actual situation. So they start kind of like casting you aside and being kind of mean, like mean girlish. Like if you invite them to something, they don't show up, or just kind of makes excuses to not be around you, or makes snide comments to other people in the friend group. So I think it might not be necessarily like, oh, you know, pointing at you, making fun of you, but it does manifest itself in different ways. And
that makes sense.
So I think for the most part, women don't outgrow that.
I agree.
That makes sense.
I definitely agree. I just think, you know, like you said, just what we go through in life. And a lot of women just don't have a good example. And you don't self-reflect. And some people just, they're so into, it's so hard to get out of what you're dealing with sometimes and to reflect on yourself, to think like, you know, am I the problem? So it's just hard. Yeah.
But I agree with you, Angela. I never thought about it like that. I think that I'll have to change my mind. I think that most women then are so mean girls.
And naturally, women are just so jealous. Like naturally, you know, it's just, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's
We're like,
to measure ourselves with somebody else's scale. Like, so.
And you know what's funny though, is that men, I think maybe
have
men
the
have
upper hand.
Yeah, I think maybe men are better friends to each other. I don't think men are as petty, maybe because I'm not in their worlds, but looking from the outside in, I think they're way more selective of their friends. They hold on to them when they do find one or two, and they tend to be more straightforward and blunt with each other about things. I don't think men really beat around the bush or beat around the bush or do a lot of BS. Como que no aguantan mucha mierda, so they're just more.
And they're good at compartmentalizing their feelings and the purpose that each person serves in their life. So they have, you know, the golf friend and the grabbing some beers at the bar to watch a game friend, and then the childhood friend who they talk to about everything under the sun. And like, you know, like just like the work friend, like they're good at like keeping each person in like their little box.
But then I guess that's the same as what you guys were saying before, because like you and Laura both said that you have those kinds of friends, you know, like the kinds of friends that, you know.
Well, maybe for guys,
I'm not good at compartmentalizing my emotions. I'm not good at compartmentalizing my emotions, because my brunch friend now used to be my confidant, right? So it's hard to say, you know, in this season of life, this person was my confidant, but I can't share these things with them now because they're not going to celebrate or generally be happy for me, or they're going to go gossip it to somebody else. So it's hard to compartmentalize keeping the same person through stages of life and then separating the emotion from where you now have had to place them in your life. Yeah. So I'm not good at compartmentalizing, because I look back and I'm like, dang it, like we used to have such good conversations. Like, why can't we
so much damn energy though? It's like I feel like I don't have any energy for that. Like I wouldn't have it in me. Like, I
feel like guys just don't talk about the same things though that us women talk about, and that's why their friendships last like a lot longer. Like I also like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe they don't talk about, like you said, their feelings. They don't talk about their family as much. Like
they don't burden.
They talk about football and basketball, and you know what's like my partner's new thing is like what cigars are they, you know, into right now, or what guns they're into. Like that's like their thing. Like they don't have to go
that one friend or that one cousin that he talks about the deep things with, but that person is not who he grabs the cigars with or grabs, like that is just one, like that person.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way you can assume or not assume, but conclude or theorize that their friendships last longer because they're less burdened by their individual life issues. Yeah. So you're able, I mean, imagine it's like you're each carrying around less weight. You're lighter. It's not like women, like my load is your load once I share it with you, if you care for me. But it's like men are like, they're not sharing anything.
They're not gonna go and be like, yo, me and my girls just had problems. Like, let me go tell you about it. Like, no.
So like, then they're able to just kind of enjoy each other.
Yeah.
Enjoy each other's company.
Whereas for us women, we want like kind of like a little therapist within our friends sometimes, and just people to be on our side and to hear or to also know like they're going through the same things and like you're not crazy.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
I think everybody just doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Although I enjoy my like I went through like that crash course of like cliques and friendships and like traveling and partying and enjoying like I did a crash course for like a year and a half and then I was like, oh, okay, ya que me le tapa, like I'm done.
I already
like,
went to so much fun. High school and college done.
But I'm tired, y'all. Like I'm tired. So for me, it was like I went through that crash course. And
you were then, like Rocky running up the steps.
Yeah, like, and then when I got up to the steps, I was like, oh, like, and then like the people that I met up the steps, like, my friends, like some of those friends that were like the clubbing friend and like the partying friend and the drinks friend, like they're just like running up, like, hey, like, and I'm just like, no, I'll continue running, like,
like it's okay, you can stay there.
The streets are calling, and Angela's like, I'm good.
I'm good. Okay, this is it. I'm at the top. Like this is it.
Yeah, the streets are calling, and I like disconnected that phone line.
Yeah.
So then you're like those people look at you like, oh, like now she thinks she's better, because like that's not what it is. Is that I'm tired.
It's just not. You're not in that stage in your life anymore.
You're supposed to grow up. You're supposed to like evolve. If you find yourself,
I love to day drink. Like you call me at like noon. My friend, she just moved away. I'm like sad about it, but like she'll call me on a Sunday and be like, hey Tina, like it's 12:30, let's meet for brunch. And we, go to different brunch spots and try different foods and pretty cocktails, take pictures with it. And like by 8:30, we're like giving each other a hug, saying good night, and we're in bed by 9:15 watching our shows with my Tubi. And like, I'm done for the day.
It's Tubi.
And then I have friends. Texting me at
another one.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like, I'm sleeping.
Hold on, real quick. Write this down because this has to be a topic. No, for real. When do you know that you're in a relationship for real with the Dominican woman?
Oh my God.
Oh, my
when do you know?
He'll tell you when I got real comfortable and I started waking up with the Tubi.
He's like, what the hell is that?
I gave him a whole history lesson of the Tubi behind it, like the whole, like he's still like,
I still haven't been able to do that. I'm like, we're 6 years in, and I am like, I don't know if I want to wake up with you seeing me like in a Tubi.
Dude, I've been married for 15 years, and I've never done a Tubi on my head. Never. Yeah. I tried it once, and as soon as I saw myself in the mirror, I took it out.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to straighten your hair because my hair is naturally curly.
Yeah.
So, but I like to wear straight. So it's like I don't want to flat iron it every single day because it's like breaking. So you preserve the style, you wrap it. And I suffered a lot in the beginning of our relationship because my hair was free as I was sleeping. With like these little like afro. And I'm like, so it was just a lot of work waking up before him, like flat ironing some sides, like putting some funk, like I can't put tinted moisturizer, mascara. So
okay. But this is definitely going to have to be a topic for another day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. How do you know you're in it for the long haul with the Dominicana when the Tubi pops out? Anyway, we want to say thank you guys for joining us today. It was a great topic. Laura, do you have anything to say, Angela?
Just to go and subscribe to our channel, like, follow, same thing, I guess, follow, like, subscribe, comment, ask questions, and send the link to your friends, to all your friends, and tell them to watch movies in English.
Yes, please. We definitely need the support. We're starting out, and so it's always good. Like we said, women need to empower women and support women. So we
Yes.
definitely need to push that forward. And for our male listeners, because we have a couple, I know for a fact. So please share as well. Um, Next week we're gonna have a brand new topic. Well, every Thursday. So please join us. Again, thank you and have a great, blessed day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is for you. Ciao.
Bye.
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 Esta mi despedida, vete con el que te hundí.